Okay, everybody, listen up. The leading acne brand Differin is celebrating its 5th annual Retinoid Education Week with us. They're partnering with us, Fat Mascara, to host a virtual panel on Tuesday, March 8th at 8 p.m. Eastern to discuss all things related to adult acne and retinoids. So Jen, dermatologist Dr. Camille Howard, some podcast friends of ours, and a makeup artist are going to be talking about our experiences with adult acne and the power of acne-fighting retinoids. Okay, the best part is you get to join us. You can register for the Retinoid Roundtable panel at this website. Write it down. It'll be in the show notes. It'll be on our Instagram. It'll be everywhere, retinoidroundtable.com. And all of the attendees are going to receive a full-size Differin gel and a moisturizer following the event that's going to help you kickstart your journey to clear skin. Again, it's March 8th at 8 p.m., and you can register to join us. It's free to join us at retinoidroundtable.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fat Mascara. I'm Jen.
I'm Jess.
And if I sound excited, it's because I'm not going to make a joke. I was about to say this episode is Banana B-A-N-A. All right, I'm done.
Oh, God, please.
Gwen, if you're listening, I'm so sorry. Jess, you ready for this?
I'm kind of ready. I am sort of like, I'm not, I'll just heads up, I'm not listening to this episode because it's too embarrassing. Like I was there, but I don't need to be there again because I lost it. I lost it.
Not even a week before this, we knew that this was actually going to happen. Jess and I had a full conversation, not knowing this was going to happen, about how much we loved Gwen, how much we loved No Doubt. We were talking about concerts. It went back to like, what's a concert? It was a whole story. And then we found out Gwen is launching her own makeup line, which you know what? We get a little cynical about celebrities launching lines. We've talked about that on the show. I will be honest. This one makes sense. Gwen Stefani, a color line, there's lipsticks, there's a brow pencil, there's a red lipstick. It's just, she's a beauty girl. She's a beauty girl.
The line is called Give. It's been a long time coming. And she gives us an amazing interview. And I have to say, this is one for the books. And I'm just so grateful that she came to Fat Mascara. We have an exclusive interview. Gwen, thank you for coming. Let's hit it. First of all, Gwen, I am so happy that we're doing this. This is like a total dream for me. I've just got to be honest. I'm just going to out myself right now. I am a tremendous fan. I'm a tremendous No Doubt fan, tremendous Gwen Stefani fan. I've seen you more times than I can count, and as in No Doubt and as a solo artist. I've been a huge fan of your style since the jump. So just to completely embarrass myself, when I was a teenager, I read that you wore Urban Decay Gash lipstick. So guess what? Guess who went out and bought Urban Decay Gash?
You better.
You wore a studded belt. I wore a studded belt. You had bangs. Guess who cut bangs?
Oh no!
It didn't look. I didn't look like Gwen Stefani. My friend told me I looked like Tracy Bonham instead. Not the effect I was going for. So for a young person like myself back then, seeing your style was really empowering because you just looked so confident and looked so intentional. It was really feminine, but it was very self-assured, and it just looked like you were so sure of yourself. When you started, did you feel so sure of yourself? Was it a very intentional style?
It's really what's interesting is at this point in my life, normal people don't just sit there and analyze themselves and go back and talk to people they don't know about their past selves. But for some reason, God put me in this position to be able to do that. So I've been thinking about that a lot. That girl also, I feel like I've been through a huge transformation in my life, my personal life. So that version of me back then was so naive. I grew up in a family where my family was the most important thing. I was very, very sheltered, a kind of idealistic family with lots of love and things like that. So I think I was just a very naive person back then. Of course, I had my own insecurities and things like that, but those insecurities are what kind of made my style and made me be who I was. And it wasn't until later that I looked back and I was like, whoa, okay, they like that. They like me being me by all of my faults. Like, okay, well, I guess I'm winning and I'm not even trying. Like, I'm just trying to express myself. Like, so I don't think I was definitely not like confident in that way, but I was also just sort of like floating and just going. And I didn't think a lot about things. I wasn't as smart, I think, as I am now because I've lived, and I've learned. But I think that definitely the one thing that was different was being able to get up on stage and have kind of an alter ego, like a different version of myself where I was like, they gave me their love and then I gave them back. I slapped them around and then they liked that. So then so it was like, that was something where I got to be a different version of myself. And yeah. And the thing is that's because we are here to talk about makeup. And I feel like that makeup was a huge part of that person. And whether it be on the stage or off the stage, that being able to be creative through makeup and showing that version of myself, whatever that might be that day, is what gave me my identity.
Yeah. Your makeup and your look was a huge part of your persona. And I think what a lot of girls like myself certainly responded to. Absolutely want to talk about your line. I just want to be clear about that. We're going to get to a lot of those questions.
but I was like, it tied into what we were talking about so well. So
okay. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable knowing that we're going to be talking about your line. But I do have another question.
About anything you want to talk about. I'm into it.
Okay. Good. So another question just about your broader music career is, so Gwen, do you think that you're saying it's funny that you're like, you're wiser now and you can kind of look back on things with a much different point of view. But looking back, when you think about artists today and thinking about the way female artists present themselves, like so much has changed. Seeing you perform today versus seeing you perform like, in the 90s, there's the spectrum and just kind of the climate has changed so much, but you're still killing it. When you look at female artists today, do you think how the music industry allows women to sort of express themselves has changed? Because you've been able to express yourself in 95 in the same way you're expressing yourself now. Like you're still killing it.
Back in the day, I feel like I didn't suffer some of the stuff that other probably female artists maybe at that time did. I was so lucky because I was already in my band with my big brother, by the way, and my boyfriend for 9 years before anyone, basically knew who we were. We had our underground following that was kind of this built-in following from the moment we started. We were so blessed. Like we were obviously always doing something that was opposite of what was popular. We were not doing our music because we knew we were doing unpopular music. We knew it would never make it on the radio, but we didn't really have dreams. We did it because it was the procrastination to trying to have a backup job or go to school and think, it was our fun. And so I think that again kind of ties in with my last answer, which is just trying to be real and just being real, accepting who you are and just being like, but in a naive way, I can look back now and go, oh, I did that. I didn't know I was doing it at the time. And I don't think we really thought much about it. We were just like, oh my gosh, we got practice on Thursday. Dad, can I have $5 so I can rent a microphone? It was literally that simple. Mm-hmm. And when we got signed to Interscope, which was a brand new label at the time, we were the second band signed. I think it was like Marky Mark and a few other people. I can't even remember who was there at that time. But point being, Jimmy Iovine, who was kind of like the one that said, you're going to be a star in 6 years. And then on the dot, 6 years later, Don't Speak was #1 around the world. He had this vision for Interscope and his artists, and it was very, very artist driven. Like it was all about the artist's point of view. And he was just this very cool guy. And I never felt like, oh, I can't do this because I'm a girl. I always felt like my voice was heard and my place was this creative person and people listened to me. So my journey, that's what my journey was. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The thing is that I was blessed like that. And I know not everyone had that. At the time, there wasn't a lot of girl bands. Like when I was in Anaheim growing up, it was like all kind of punk rock bands that we played with. And so that was where I kind of would have to like prove myself, or like someone would say like, rude things that maybe, or I would be like, okay, you're not going to come back here. It's just the band. I'm like, but I'm in the band. But they would assume that I was a groupie. You know what I'm saying? So those little things, but it's like, it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm scarred from that, or it held me back in any way. It was just, it was what it was. And I think there was a point where I could see myself going, okay, I'm expressing myself. And I wrote a song called Just a Girl back then before like we were successful, right? I wrote that song years before it ever came out. And that song was just simply like being a female and being born and not really thinking about your gender. And you just are just existing and being loved and loving and doing your thing. And then suddenly you hit puberty and you're like, whoa, what's this? Like, I have this power I didn't think I had. And wait, why won't my dad let me drive tonight? Like, he's saying no because it's dangerous. Like, oh, I'm actually a victim. I didn't know that. Like, you have this awareness as you grow up of like, okay, I'm different because I'm a girl versus a guy. I mean, this is a huge conversation right now these days, obviously, but that song was written very naively just off of that. Not because I was necessarily angry or, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. Do you think that song could come out today? Do you think that song still hits today?
It's more relevant today than it ever has been. Like, I feel like I could have written it today and it would have had a different meaning. I think people would have like listened to it in a different way. But all these things are like interesting things to talk about because it's fun now that I've been around this long to be able to go back and kind of try to analyze why. Like, I'm still wondering like how are people still interested? Like, I feel so blessed. And so, yeah, now that I'm in this new chapter, I really like your guys are my second interview since I've started this new chapter of my life. And so it's exciting. I feel fired up right now, like to talk to you about this.
Well, I feel fired up. I could barely get the question out. I was like humming. It's so amazing to talk to you about this. So like all aspects of your career. So anyway, I'm going to pass the mic to Jem.
Well, I was thinking about 9 years, you're in the van going from place to place. Like you didn't have image consultants. Even when you got signed, did they swoop in with like image consultants? Like, here's your look, Gwen.
It's true. I always think about that because I look back at photos and I'm like, like, what was I doing? And, a lot of times through the years, people will love to do this. Well, they'll like pull a bunch of horrible photos of me and want me to sort of like give some excuse or like feel embarrassed or have regret. And I always say like, no, like I know exactly why I had pink hair and I know exactly why I had braces at that point or whatever style thing happened was never like, it wasn't calculated. I didn't have anybody. I did not have a stylist. I didn't have a makeup artist. I did not have anyone to help me with anything. And in fact, I was driving the van. Like the band will try to tell you that I wasn't driving the van, but that's because they were wasted and they didn't know that I was freaking driving the van. Like I was driving the van through cornfields, trying to stay awake while we toured. Like it was really an amazing, crazy thing. And when I look back at it now, I think that wasn't real, but everything that was negative had some kind of positive, like creative consequence. So for example, like back in the day, like when you see the Just a Girl video and you go, wow, she's wearing a bindi or she has, she's whatever I was wearing in that and my makeup, everything about it was, that is how I dressed then. I did not have somebody go, oh, here's some different choices of things you could wear. Like that was me with my one outfit because I had no money and what I had come up with, like a tank top was because that's all I had. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think there's something probably great about the fact that when you have to be creative with inside a box. And that's what I've learned through the years as well. And led me to this point of now being able to create this new line, which I know we're going to get into. It's different when you have to like just create and be naive and just trying to make your way as like, I guess an artist, which I didn't even know I was back then. But now I look at it, I'm like, oh, I guess I was some kind of an artist because I just had this visual, like I see visually, like I don't understand a lot of things. I'm not good at a lot, but there's certain things that I am, and I'm very focused on those things. So like at this point, I feel like I'm in a place where I learned from everything behind me. And now I'm starting a project where I can say, okay, this is like a pure passion project. Everything that I've ever done since I was a little girl, all of my interests, led me to this moment. And that's why I think it's kind of an exciting time in my life, because I think that you can never be prepared for what midlife is going to feel like after you have your kids and you're sort of like, you have achieved so many amazing things and had all these blessings. It's like, now how do I exist? Like, what version of me am I going to be next? And what am I going to give to people that have given me this incredibly blessed existence? So that's kind of where I'm landing today.
Yeah. Yeah. It's cool that you got to come up with that look, though, without like 20 people voting on it for you. Like it happens now with personalities. I have to bring up the bindi because you brought it up. Like, you love culture. I can just tell you get inspired from all over the world. And this is like a really big conversation right now. When you look back on some of those looks, do you ever think like, oh, I might do it differently now? Or if someone else did that, I would improve?
I don't like the rules that people are putting out there these days as much. I think we had so much more freedom back then to just be influenced and not, and it's just such a pure way. Like I said, when we were talking earlier about circumstances, everything culturally that I was like basically introduced to, starting with being born in Anaheim, California. Anaheim, California is a very interesting place that you don't realize when you live somewhere what it is until you get out of it and you look back on it. And
yeah, how'd that influence you being from there?
It really did influence me a lot. I grew up basically in a place where Disneyland is the center, the heartbeat of the city. And everybody that is living there is pretty much working in a hotel or a motel or in, Disneyland. And that's as big as it got, is like to work there. That was my dream, Mom, please, I know I can sing and inside the hotel. And no, you're not going to be able to do that. You can't stay out late at night, and they work on the holidays, So I think it's like one of those things where like just being able to be around, like also, we're right next to Mexico. So we had a huge Hispanic community, and that was my school. That was my high school. Like, those girls that put on their makeup, those like chola girls, like what? Like those eyebrows, like, yes, I'm going to do that. They're my homies. That's my people. So you get inspired by the culture around you and where you live. And then once, for example, when I met Tony Canal, who was 16 and I was 17, and he was going to Anaheim High School, and he basically, I didn't know what he was when I met him. He was just very cute, and I was very attracted to him. And only to find out when I went to his house, I was like, why is there like elephants everywhere? Like, what? Oh, you're from India. Like, your family is from India. I'd never met somebody from India at that point in my life. I was only 17, you know what I mean? And so it was interesting to watch his mom dress up and come down the stairs, like ordained in like jewelry and glitter and things that like my mom, we went to the fabric store and it was like, you can't have even lace. Like, you get to have eyelet. Like, my mom was very conservative and very like, it wasn't like I was obsessed with sparkle and girly things. And I was very like, more is more. And my mom would be like, less is less. Like, she was from the 60s. So in the 60s, things were quite like simplified, Jackie O, all that stuff. So to watch this gorgeous human, Tony's mom, the way her culture, the way she celebrated her face with makeup and her red lipstick and the bindi. And she's the one that turned me on. That was the first time I was influenced by that. And she's the one that gave me the bindi. So It was just one of those things where I would just take from everything around me innocently, and it became who I was. And that's what we all do. That's how we learn. We learn from each other.
I think people forget too that we didn't have social media and exposure on the internet to all of these other things. You saw what was in front of you, and clearly you made the most of that. You learned how to do your makeup too. Like, can we talk about that? Like, who taught you how to do makeup?
I taught myself how to do makeup. I grew up basically like just always, it was born in me to love makeup. It wasn't something that my mom wasn't a huge like makeup wearer. She wore a little bit of makeup. My aunt, my dad's mom, she wore extreme makeup, but she died really when I was young. So I mainly just see pictures of her and go, whoa, like what was she doing with that makeup? But I guess when I was about, I don't know what age, about 5 or 6, I had a best friend called Amy Hunter, and her mom had a crap ton of makeup. We're talking about drawers of makeup. So for me, it was like, go tell your mom, like ask her if we can go play makeup. And so we would come home from school.
How old were you about?
Well, I met her when I was 5, and then we were friends for like probably, 10 years, like through elementary school. And that was just the ritual. And her mom had Mary Kay parties, which was like when people don't know probably that are younger, but there was these like home parties where like they would have like everyone come over, invite your friends, and then they'll tell you if you're an autumn or what color you should be wearing. And that was just always like so unbelievably like mesmerized by that or fascinated by that. So it's not like I can really remember when it started, but it's been forever. And then I was the one that always cut everybody's hair, put their makeup on, curl their hair, burrs their necks with a curling iron. Like that was me. Like that, everybody knew that that's what I did. And then basically, I can't remember at what age I was, but I want to say I was probably 19 or 20. And I had gotten a job at the Broadway, which is a department store in Anaheim at the Anaheim Plaza. And I worked for basically Plaza Sportswear, which was like older women's pull-on polyester pants. And I used to help women try to put outfits together. And I really did enjoy that, but I really wanted to be one of those girls that were behind the counter.
A beauty girl.
I never thought that I could be, but I wanted to be. And I kind of thought I know how to do makeup, but they were like so flawless and intimidating and way at a different level than me. But anyways, the mall that I worked at, they let me transfer and without any like training, nothing. And I worked behind the counter for Ultima 2, which was right when the Nakeds came out. They were the first Nakeds before the Nakeds everyone knows now, but Ultima 2 had kind of revamped and they were this small little section in one corner. And then I worked for Borghese, which of course nobody knew of at that mall because it was super expensive and nobody bought it. So that was me. And I was basically next to the Clinique girls and they just put me literally opened the door and said, make a display. Like nobody taught me anything, but it was some of the greatest moments of my life because I just remember the feeling that people would get when I did their makeup. And mainly people just would come in and say, can you put makeup on me and then give me a sample and see how long they were probably going out that night. You know what I'm saying? Just free.
Yeah.
And so I used to love, I used to love giving people, I'm all about a makeover. Like I know what that makes people feel like, and I know what it feels like to give that. And I know, I'm the person that like, I go into a restaurant and if the hostess comes and she has some like done up eyebrows, like she's going to get a major compliment from me because I see in makeup, like I appreciate makeup and if you are listening right now and you feel me and I know you know who you are, we are like-minded. We are makeup junkies. We are fans. We want to express ourselves through the power of makeup and give that feeling. So
absolutely.
Whether you're giving it by the face that you put on that day or you're taking it by what someone did to give to you with what they did that morning. So I don't know. I live, breathe makeup. I have my whole life. And so after that, it was like all about, I basically was in no doubt at that point. And from 17 till 26 was just nobody knew who we were besides the underground. And then when Just a Girl came out, when I was 26 years old, a lot of people don't realize I was already that old when that song came out. That's when it was like, okay, I did the video, did my own makeup as usual, and then went from that video shoot to a plane and then went on tour for 2.5 years and didn't come home. So
crazy.
It's crazy. I came home and I was like, I got $1 million. I had I think I had like $1,000 when I left from working at the department store and then basically went around the world and came home and was like, still lived with my parents.
Did you have a makeup artist at that point?
No, I never had a makeup artist. I still don't necessarily have. I've worked with incredible makeup artists, but I was traumatized by the first No Doubt record. I had a makeup artist do my makeup and really was not happy with it. Still look at it and go, I could have been so much prettier in those pictures. Like he made me look not good. And if he's still out there, like, I'm sorry, we should have tried it again or something. But like, after that, I was always like, I can do it better than that. I know what I'm doing, And when I look back at the stuff, I didn't necessarily know what I'm doing, but I love makeup because it's never ending. I mean, our faces are a moving target. We're always changing, and you can always learn something new. Like, I feel like even just in the last couple of months, I've learned things that I wish I would have known my whole life.
Are you learning them like self-taught? Are you learning them from makeup artists that you work with? Are you learning them from like YouTube videos, TikTok?
Both. I think everywhere. Like, I definitely learn them from, that's what I love about the beauty community. I think generally we talked a lot about female artists, and back in the day, like, I didn't really have a lot of female energy around me because I was in a band. I was gone. Like, I never had, the only girls that I knew were the girls that wanted to hook up with the guys on tour, or the ones that actually hooked up and were the girlfriends of the guys on tour that became my friends and would always come in and it was my pet peeve was like, I'm trying to do a show and they would always be like, oh, can I borrow your mascara? Or can you do my makeup or whatever? I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I'm trying to work here. But I think that, like, the thing is that in the beauty community, the one place where girls get along is when we share our beauty secrets. Like, I feel like everybody out there, especially now that we have this ability to upload all of our secrets and share our art, right? And our creativity through makeup, people are like happy to share each other's work. You know what I mean? That's like, and I love that about it. I feel like it's all about like, ooh, you did this. Let me see if I can do it. And then I'm going to show you what I did that you did in my version, and it's just this whole ping pong match between creativity and expressing yourself through color and art. And I just love it so much. And so I think it's just a place that I think that it's really a positive place, which is, there's not a lot of that these days.
You're so right.
Are you in a meal slump? Is the idea of thinking about making new meals like on your to-do list? It was on mine, and then I just got HelloFresh. They did the thinking for me. Check, take that off the list. HelloFresh delivers pre-portioned ingredients to your door, including farm fresh produce that arrives within a week. You get the convenience without skimping on the quality, and you don't have to go to the grocery store. Plus, it's flexible. You can customize your order online in the app, change the delivery day, change your food preferences, the plan size. They have amazing vegetarian options that Jess and I have been using, and the meals are like better than takeout, better than restaurant, and you make them yourself in 30 minutes. That's the other thing. On a weeknight, who wants to first find a recipe and plan it all out and do mise en place? Do you even know what mise en place is? No, just get HelloFresh. It's 72% cheaper than a restaurant meal of the same quality. Can you believe that?
So go to HelloFresh.com/fatmascara16 and use code FATMASCARA16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. That's HelloFresh.com/fatmascara16 and use code FATMASCARA16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts.
That's right. And HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. As you know, Jess and I are very passionate about getting our beauty sleep. But you know what? I always think about comfort first, but increasingly, I want to think about the environment. And I just learned from our sponsor, Attitude, that bamboo is better in bed. Did you know that, Jess?
Yes, bamboo is better in bed. Made from the world's first clean bamboo fabric, Attitude sheets are softer than silk, sustainable as hemp, and use 500 times less water than cotton sheets. They're silky soft. They get softer with every wash, and just ask the 15,000 customers who gave these sheets 5 stars. And they're breathable, they wick away moisture, and they're hypoallergenic. They keep you comfortable all night long, and they're responsibly sourced. They're made in a closed-loop system that recycles 98% of water in the process. Plus, all of Attitude's products are climate neutral certified.
And you don't have to ask those 15,000 customers. You can ask Jess and I, and we will tell you they are super comfortable. And right now, you can get 20% off your order plus free shipping when you visit Attitude.com/fatmascara. Attitude is spelled ETTITUDE. itude.com/fatmascara. This is Attitude's best offer, but don't wait. It's only available for a limited time. So order today. You get the free shipping and 20% off your order at attitude.com/fatmascara. Jess, I'm just thinking back to all of the guests that we've had on the show and how we ask them about products that they recommend. How many times has Nutrafol hair supplements come up?
It comes up all the time.
I can't even count, I don't think. There's a reason this is so popular. Thousands of women have taken back control of their hair with Nutrafol. Many users rave that the supplement not only transformed their hair, but restored their confidence too. I totally get that. When your hair's not good, things just aren't good, and Nutrafol helps with that. Nutrafol offers 2 targeted formulas for women that are clinically shown to improve hair growth and thickness with less shedding through all stages of life.
Healthier hair growth takes time. You're going to experience this transformation, this thicker, stronger, faster growing hair in 3 to 6 months. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after 6 months. More than 1,500 top doctors recommend Nutrafol as an effective and high-quality solution for healthier hair. You can grow thicker, healthier hair and support our show by going to Nutrafol.com and entering the promo code FATMASCARA to save $15 off your first month subscription. This is their best offer anywhere, and it's only available to U.S. customers for a limited time.
Plus, Jess, did you know you get free shipping on every order? Get $15 off at Nutrafol.com. That's spelled Nutrafol.com. Nutrafol.com, and the promo code is FATMASCARA.
Gwen, I want to thank you for bringing your secrets and your whole line and your energy to Fat Mascara. And you're giving us the exclusive on Give you're coming to us with the exclusive on Give. So talk to us about Give. I can't believe, you've done your own fashion line, Lamb. You created a fragrance line underneath Lamb, and you've created so many different like sublines for beauty brands, and collaborated with so many beauty brands. You've worked with Urban Decay, which was awesome. You've been a face of L'Oreal. You've been a face of Revlon. And now you finally are doing your own brand that's just your own. But I feel like this thought had to have occurred to you a long time ago. Why did you wait so long to do it?
It's not like I waited. I think this is the deal. So just back in the day when I was doing music and it was like the height of everything, our culture back then didn't approve of and this is going to sound crazy to people, like the younger girls and the younger people, that we didn't do music and then go, okay, I'm going to have a makeup line to go with it. And then we sold merch. Yeah, we did sell merch, but we didn't sell to our fans.
Like a t-shirt.
Our fans were not we didn't use them like that. Do you know what I'm saying? And we were very conscious.
I would have bought it.
No, but back then, the idea that you would try to sell something besides, I guess we were selling our music, but it was, our music was our heart. You know what I'm saying? And yes, we were getting money for it so that we could continue to do that. But I don't know, it's just different mentality. And I think that when I first started Lamb, I just always loved clothes. I always made my own costumes. My mom and I made all my clothes not all my clothes, but everything for a holiday. And her mom made her clothes and my great grandma made their clothes. So it was always in me to be creative in that way. So I had the idea that I wanted to do a fashion. Nobody at that time was doing that. Right. Okay. So I started Lamb, and when I had done Lamb, Le Sport Sac had come to me. It was right in the same time period. And they said, would you like to be a guest designer for a collection? And I thought, that was just very unusual at the time. And my ego was like, ooh, he said designer. That's kind of cool. That's arty. And I already knew the moment that he asked me to do it, what it was going to be. And it was going to be those bags that everybody knew about back in the day, the black and white, Loving Your Music Baby, all that stuff. So I did them. And when the reaction I couldn't even walk down the street in New York without looking on both sides and seeing somebody with a bag. It was the most incredible thing. Because not only did I start just being me. And then girls were copying that, which was mind blowing to me, that I could look out and see like, wow, you got me on you. Like, I see myself in you. Like, yes. And it went from like, we get each other. Like we're together in this, you know what I mean? And so to be able to design something that was super my style that I wanted for myself. I mean, I was the muse for it, really selfishly, but then have other people that were like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to take this and make this part of my style. And it was just a very amazing feeling. So I think I just needed that like assurance or reaction or love to do it. And then I started Lamb, and it was just like such an incredible, because I think all of these things creatively come from the same place in my heart, whether it's the song or the designing of the clothes, or, you know, when I did the solo records, I wanted to do, instead of just doing a t-shirt with my face on it, I wanted to do a Harajuku world, you know?
Yeah. When you say the same place in your heart, what do you mean? Just, can you expand on that a little bit?
I mean, like if I were to write a song, right? Back in the day, naively, without thinking anyone would ever hear it, I don't know where that comes from. Like, that comes from a gift that God gave me. I don't take responsibility for that. Like, I just all of a sudden had a song. Like, it was like, I don't even know how to write songs. Like, they just came to me, you know? It's not like after a while, I definitely put effort into trying to write them, of course, but I don't ever remember. I just remember being like, I woke up with an idea, and it was all of a sudden everywhere around the world. Or I got my heart broken, and then I wrote a song, and then everybody, even different languages, related to that. So when I say my heart, it's something that was a gift given to me that I could access, that when I did it, other people reacted to it, and somehow it felt like it was my purpose. And so I don't really think I was kind of like tapped into knowing that back then, but now that I'm more mature, I think I realized that. But it's the same thing. Like if, for example, like I'm a very lazy person, typically, I don't feel like I have a lot of discipline, blah, 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 all those things. But then when it comes to like my passions, like the things that I'm interested in, then it's like full of like obsession, like I can't stop. So that place in my heart, that creative place that makes me feel like I'm actually contributing something to this planet. Like I'm doing what God wants me to do, like that. So whether that be, you know, designing fragrance or designing handbags, or, you know, putting on a fashion show, or writing a song, or making a video, or just like getting ready in the morning.
Did you get that feeling with the makeup line with Give?
Well, yes. Well, this is the thing. This is how Give happened. So I did all those things, and it's no secret that about 7 years ago, my life exploded, my personal life. My family was torn apart. It was the worst, horriblest, like the opposite of the kind of life that I thought I was going to have. And it was a really trying time for me. And, you know, through that, I had Harajuku, I had Lamb. But once I got through that period, it was kind of like, okay, I'm in the middle of my life. I can either stop and not do anything, or I can just figure out what I want to do next. And I just kind of like assessed everything and thought about it really hard. And we sat down and we discussed like, okay, this is the rest of my life. Like, what am I going to do? Like, what's the plan? And I had thought about, what, you know, am I going to keep working on Lamb? Am I going to keep working on Heritage? What am I going to do? And I really said, I want to start something that's not connected to the rest, the other part of my life. Like, I need to start fresh.
You want to start fresh.
I wanted to do something that was mine, and in this more free, happy place that I had gotten to, where I needed to be, and start something that was going to be my legacy, that basically I could give back after all the blessings I'd been given, you know? And so when I went down all the categories, you know, that I'd done, and music is always going to be there, I guess, but I just was like, I want to do makeup. And the only reason was because I had done the Urban Decay thing. So I got to feel what that was like. I had done, like you said, L'Oreal, Revlon, and I don't know, again, like I keep telling you, these ideas aren't coming from me. Like, I really feel like it's just something that I pray about it, you know, and it just.
You think it's like divine?
I do believe that, yes, because otherwise I'm just like a normal, regular person from Anaheim. Like, nobody and that I've had this journey is insane. So I'm always trying to connect to figure out what my purpose is now and who I'm supposed to be. And if I was chosen to have that much of an impact, I mean, what? Like, of course I'd have to like figure out how I'm going to give back. So I think that this line was something I thought about years ago. Now I've been actually working on it for 3 years. So you're my second.
Wait, the name is starting to make sense to me. I was going to ask you how you came up with this name, but now I feel like I have a better sense. But what was the thinking behind that?
Well, I mean, I went through a million different names, of course. It's very, very hard, to put a name to something that's going to be a permanent thing, hopefully going to be here when I'm dead. But I had GX because GX was the way I always signed my name my whole life since high school, with G and then X is supposed to be like a kiss, like you would do. And then we just, when you're going through names, it's like, it just came across like, it looks almost like Gwen if you look at it with the X because the W, blah, blah, blah. I'm dyslexic, so I see words differently. But I don't know, it felt like with makeup, it's a lot about giving, You are, like I said earlier, you're putting it on for yourself, but ultimately you don't walk out the door and stare at yourself all day long. You're giving that what you did, that art you put on your face, that version of you who you wanted to be that day for the people around you that you're going to, interact with. And so there's a lot of giving involved. I think also for me, I felt like it was like, okay, I am my middle of my life, like the middle of my life. And I have never, ever, like anyone that wants to like question me about why I'm doing give, I'll fight them because there's not one person that I'm like, it's so authentic to who I am, the makeup. I have went through years of people criticizing me for wearing too much makeup or why is she's wearing a mask? What she's trying to cover up? Is she even a girl? Like all the things that I heard that people have said about me because of my makeup, but yet has had such an impact on everybody tearing their eyebrows out in the 90s. Like, right. Like, I mean, I've had an influence and I know that. And I love that. And I want to now, I'm ready to be like that feeling I told you I had back in, Anaheim, being a makeup artist, when you're able to give that gift to someone of that feeling. Mm-hmm. Makeup is the makeup. Makeup's like, okay, here's the makeup. It's just makeup, but it's not about just the makeup. It's about the feeling that you get when you feel good and you feel ready and you feel like when you see somebody else and they walk in and you're like, oh my God, you look so pretty. Like, not because they're physically pretty.
We say this all the time.
But it's not just physically pretty.
It's for them as much as it is for you.
It is. Yeah. And so I think that give is like a perfect way to describe that because it's, it's also the community that I think that I'm not speaking obviously to everyone because not everyone's going to understand this or care. You know what I'm saying? But the people that do are going to be like, yeah, homie, I get you. Yes. Like we're like-minded because we have, we like it. We don't know why. Just, I don't know why I like pizza. I do. So there you go. You know what I'm saying?
I have to ask you about the red lips because I'm like a red lip girl. And I was like, who better to get a red lip from than Gwen? Like, seriously. But what's the difference between original recipe and old school me? I'm really trying to like suss out the difference of these reds.
Well, the thing is that with red, like that's like the most asked question of my entire existence. What color red do you wear? It's really hard because of course I've worn so many different shades of red. And if you are a makeup junkie, you realize that there's just so many versions. I've always tended to go for more of a blue red typically, but then again, like through working with incredibly talented makeup artists through the years, like I've been able to like try different things that I didn't think I could wear or I would like. And it's just never ending. You know what I mean? It's never ending what it could be. So when I did the original, it's just different formulas. So there's different formulas for the different kinds of lipsticks, of course. And then there's going to be all the different shades. And the shades is just the shades because the shades are going to be forever. Like I'm always going to be coming with another red. You know what I'm saying? The one I'm wearing right now is basically my go-to kind of like, I think it works for everything. It's flattering. It's like, doesn't matter what lighting, it doesn't matter what time of the day, what event, I feel like this is the color that is, going to work. I mean, at the end of the day, I think that...
Wait, which one is it?
This is the original... I can't even read it right now.
I'm like, what that? Original recipe. Okay.
That's a matte lipstick. So what I'm saying is that like I have Anaheim Shine, which is my, more of a shiny formula, right? And that comes in different shades. And then I have Original Recipe, which is a matte lipstick. That's the color. And so it's like, I like the matte generally in my entire career because of my career. Like I'm on stage, I got the kids all over me. Like a matte lipstick is obviously a lot safer. I think most people that are just regular people in life don't like to wear a matte because it's a lot less comfortable. But I feel like this formula solved that problem because it doesn't feel dry. You can still move it once it's on, and it stays in place enough, but it also is still comfortable. And then of course the long wear stuff that we have as well. So it's like 3 different formulas that we've done. But I mean,
oh my gosh, love the name. I'm Still Here.
Yeah, that was really fun too, because I think doing this now at this point in my life, there's already such a roadmap to get here. I've done so many things that are tying into this line, and I just want to make it feel like a world of familiar. I want people to, I know people are, I don't feel cocky, but I feel confident that people will trust me on this. I mean, I'm a makeup junkie and I'm intimidated. Like I go online to try to buy something and I just don't even know where to go, where to look, what to turn, what to buy.
You're buying product online, Gwen? You're like online shopping with your credit card? I don't believe it.
Well, have you seen me at the mall lately? I don't think you have. It's not like
no. I just feel like brands would be sending you stuff. No, I don't see you at the Anaheim Mall like with your shopping bag.
I love shopping online, and I love buying makeup online. But I'm blessed. Like I can afford to buy makeup online and be like, okay, I didn't like that, give it to my sister or whatever. But I think that most people they don't even know where to begin. Like I want to buy an eyebrow pencil. Which one? There's so many. But what I'm hoping is that anyone that knows me knows that I've never done stuff unless I did it for my passion, for my truth. You know what I'm saying? So every single thing that I've worked on this line is stuff that I'm doing for myself that is my quality. Like you're going to be guaranteed that it's going to be at the standard. It's going to be clean. It's going to be sustainable, all the stuff that of course is going to be all those things. But I think it's going to be a high performance makeup for makeup artists, for people that love makeup. And so I think that I want people to feel safe that they can trust me on this one, because this is my whole life. Like this is what I've done my whole life. And I'm at a place where I still, especially speaking to the women that are like my age, that still want to be pretty, still want to be relevant, still want to have a voice in the world and feel good in the morning when they put their makeup on. Like, I think that there's a lot of people out there that just feel like they got forgotten, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I think this makeup line speaks to them as well. Not to mention all the kids that are going to be like, oh yeah, my mom listened to her. Like she probably knows what she's talking about when it comes to makeup. So I think people are going to be able to trust.
Ageless.
Well, thank you. But there's a lot that goes into that, and that is makeup. Makeup is very, very powerful. There's magic in the makeup.
Well, as the song goes. Okay, we can't let you go without doing...
I was testing you. I was seeing this if you're a real fan or not.
Oh, she knows it.
Gwen, come on. Would I lie to you? Okay, on the air especially, come on. Okay, we're going to do the quick fat mascara 5. It's quick word association, all right? Just whatever comes to your head. First makeup memory. You already told us about Amy Hunter.
Oh, Amy Hunter. Hey, Amy, what's up? I did her makeup for her wedding, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a claim to fame. Besides Amy Hunter, what is your first makeup memory?
The first one that comes to my mind was my grandma gave me one of those tubes that has like 5 different lipsticks in it. And the first time I ever put red lipstick on, sitting in my Honda Prelude in the driveway and looking in the rearview mirror and putting on red lipstick going, yeah, that's me for the rest of my life. Why have I not done this yet?
Biggest risk you ever took with your look?
I think probably ex-girlfriend, working with a makeup artist that was recommended to me through the video director that did that, and just going so bold, like crazy bold.
Did you like it, or is it just like, it was a risk?
It was a risk. Like, I'm the kind of person that when I look back at those kinds of things, I'm never going to say I regret anything, because I know why I did it. And you did it. It happened. It's done. Like, and no, I learned a lot.
Favorite fragrance besides your own?
I like Balenciaga. What's it called? I think it's called Paris. I like that fragrance a lot.
Cool. Workout song.
That's a good question. You know what? I like to listen to Post Malone a lot when I work out, or I listen to Rick Warren, who's like a church guy that I love to listen to. I like to exercise to do spiritual exercise at the same time that I'm doing physical exercise. You should try it. It's actually very powerful.
Okay. And then that's a nice lead into our last one. What is the mantra you live by?
The mantra, I don't know if it's a mantra, but
or just like you're a spiritual person. So uplift us, leave us with something that's going to get us through a rough time, or maybe something that got you through a rough time.
I think, I guess what I would say is really try to find what your gift is. And if you open your eyes and you ask, you will find it. And then when you use it, that will be very fulfilling. So that's kind of what I try to do every day.
Find your gift.
Find your gift. Did you ever ask someone what your gift was, or did you know what your gift was right away? Like, you've sold a lot of albums. You know what your gift was.
I didn't know. I didn't realize that it was a gift until like later, when people liked it.
Yeah. Well, you're very gifted. Thank you so much for coming on our show. This was amazing, Gwen.
Thanks for having me. And thanks
Congrats
for
on the line.
listening to my music all these years and looking at my makeup on my face all these years.
This was awesome. Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Have fun.
We hope you enjoyed the show. It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us, or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor One product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646